she did one. She did it on a Virgin cruise, and she didn't like it. She said she just couldn't relax because somebody was always hitting on her. Which she was a pretty girl, and I could understand that, but
Yep.
it was like everybody's trying to hook up, even the old people.
Even the old people. Well,
It's 9 o'clock. If you're ready.
yeah, we're live.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, we've been live for 34 seconds.
Yeah. We're talking about old people hooking up here, folks. Welcome to the chat.
I didn't see you go live.
Uh, said it, but you were talking, so you didn't hear me. That's okay. At
Good morning, everybody.
least we weren't talking about my hemorrhoids or something.
Your prostate exam.
My prostate exam.
Good morning, Deb. No, we were talking about cruises, and Roberta and I are going to go on one in April, and just a short one out of Charleston. And he was talking about, Todd was talking about just getting a margarita and going up and sitting beside the pool, the
I
adults
know, Deb.
only area pool. And that just led to one thing or after another.
So I just randomly put thumbnail pictures on my shows,
Uh huh.
and I had a little bag of gummy bears here, and took a picture of those and put it up. And of course, the first thing Mike comes on and says, "Todd's got edibles. Should be a great show." Hi, Mike.
Well, you
Deb,
know,
Lag, Cindy. Yeah, we got we got a Monday going here. So
can't get woke up.
eBay, yeah, I got 9 packages going out, which is I usually try to have about 12 on weekends, but it's kind of slow this weekend, sales wise.
Well, I've accepted 3 offers, and of course they haven't paid yet. It'll probably be Friday before they pay. Because they got to wait for their paycheck.
Tom had a lot of cool finds, Lag.
Yeah.
He had dolls making the O face, O mouth,
Yeah. It
and
wasn't that. It was just odds and ends. What did I do?
some
Um,
cool stuff. Dang, Lag. $1,000 for a piece of electronics that Lag sold. Do you sell new stuff, Lag, or used stuff? Do, do,
I went. I was going to look at your thumbnails. Yeah, I like the gummy bears.
do. Sell new and used. It's like a car dealership, only with electronics. Yeah.
So did you have a good weekend?
Oh, yeah. Wife and I went out and had some Mexican food on Friday night or so. Yeah. No, Saturday evening. Um, Later on today, we're gonna go to the big city and some friends we met on September's trip to Italy. They're
Right.
coming. They're coming through town. We're gonna go have lunch with them.
Nice.
So that'll be a fun lunch. I guess they're not just gonna hang around for very long. I think they're rolling on down south. I think they're going to San Antonio or somewhere.
Well,
Lag, you coming for lunch? Okay.
that's nice. The
Yeah, they were an interesting couple we met on the trip. They were on the same bus tour with us, so there's about 30 people on the bus tour together, and you pretty much get to know everybody after about 7, 8, 9 days. Going to see all the Roman Colosseum and the
right.
Leaning Tower of Pisa and just doing all that stuff.
Well, I'm sure that was a great trip. All that riding, though. It's been many years ago. Roberta and her sister sent their parents on a bus tour. They flew them into Denver, and then they went up to on a bus tour. They went to Mount Rushmore and Yellowstone and places like that. And my father-in-law was kind of he's a homebody. And good morning, Craig. We were kind of concerned whether he would have a good time or not, being there, they're on a bus with a bunch of people that they don't know. But he had a good time. And my mother-in-law, she tries to make itself like she's a homebody too, but she's a real friendly, sweet lady. So she didn't have any problems. But like I said, my father-in-law said he had a good time, and the people, were just fine. We went and saw them on Saturday. My father-in-law's had some heart issues. Everybody's been sick up there. They had COVID. My father-in-law had spent a night in the hospital because his heart was racing. And so this was the first time everybody was well up there that we could go up there. So Roberta and I and Sergey and Sasha, we went up Saturday morning and stopped and had brunch with Sasha's girlfriend that we had briefly met, but we really hadn't had anything to talk. I had a chance to talk with her, so we did that. And we stopped at Cracker Barrel, and guess what? They charge 50 cents for a little cup of apple butter now. How freaking dare them? So then we went on over to up to the in-laws, and Roberta's niece and her husband and their baby was there because Roberta hadn't seen the baby. You hadn't seen the baby at all, have you?
Yes, it's January.
Okay. Well, I don't remember. I'm old. I forget. I can tell you what happened in 1972, but I can't tell you what happened last month. So she got to hold the baby for a while, and we got to hang out with the in-laws, and then we made our way home. But it was a good trip. Where is everybody's favorite place to vacation, Lag ask? Well, I have a preference for cruise ships because you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to drive. And we have, I've mentioned before we've been to Australia, and we spent 2 weeks on the damn run. But then again, we were younger then too. But that's someplace everybody should go at least once.
We liked Ireland. I don't know that was my favorite. I kind of.
Why are you eating at Cracker Barrel, Tom?
Because that's where old people eat.
I know.
Yeah.
That's how they hook you your money. They're like, these old people got 50 cents for frickin' apple butter.
Cracker Barrel fired my mom because they told her she was too old. And they get all right. They do get all their money from old people, but when an older person tries to work there, they fire them.
Too old.
That was my mom, not some friend of mine. My own mother, so I know it's true.
I'm sorry. I don't have anything to do with the hiring and firing. Cracker Barrel.
I'd fire Jim's mom too, honestly.
Well, now you would, but
Well, back then I would have fired her too.
What?
And they've changed their menu around, and I know a lot of y'all don't like Cracker Barrel, but they've taken fried chicken livers off of it, so I'm not happy about that. But they have a good breakfast.
Yeah, they can make pancakes. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they sell beer and wine there now. Because nobody.
I like when I sit in there. I like because they decorated it all like primitives and antiques and stuff, and I'll be like, oh, I got one of those. I've sold that. Oh, I've sold that before.
They wouldn't hire Joe Biden.
I wouldn't hire Joe Biden either. Okay, now why are you just bringing that?
Oh, I didn't say nothing like that.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Sadie says any place with a casino or water, he's good. But they've changed their menu around, and that's kind of weird. But to me, it was good as always. It's diner food. What can you expect?
I don't think Cracker Barrel is exactly like a diner.
Okay, it's quick serve then. Whatever you
I don't know. Last time I ate a cracker,
it's not like going to the foo-foo place,
Oh.
I'd rather eat in a prison cafeteria.
Well, if you don't straighten your ways up, you might.
Yeah.
Todd was just talking about about their trip to Italy and Ireland and whatnot. We've passed through England, stayed the night at the airport when we were coming home with the twins, but we haven't been there vacationing. And I would like to go if things get straightened out over there too.
Yeah, I really hate flying. I would like to go over there too, but there's also a big part of me that just hates flying.
Well, for probably about $5,000 each way, you can take the Queen Mary from.
I know, but it is quicker to fly. But I am
worse than a plane.
I am scared of flying.
I'm more afraid of a boat going out from under me. No, thank you. What, are you going to Europe?
I said yeah, but I'm scared to fly across the ocean.
Wait till I'm in an urn, then go.
Oh, you don't want to go with me?
No, I'm not. I don't want. If a commercial plane goes down over the ocean, you're gonna.
Well, you're gonna die.
Yeah, it ain't worth it to me to go see a place that my ancestors said, "Let's get the hell out of here."
If it was good enough for them to get out of there, it was good enough for you not to.
That's what my old man always said. My mom told him, "Don't you want to go back to Ireland someday? See Ireland?" He goes, "My ancestors left a long time ago, and I figured they probably did it for a good reason." So
we were flying back from Orlando, and I think when they turned the air conditioners on in the plane, it made like a mist, or it looked like smoke. And I don't like the window, so Jim's by the window, and I'm sitting next to Jim, and then there's a guy on the aisle side, and they had a hairdressers convention that was in Orlando, and he had the most beautiful hair. He looked like Bon Jovi.
His hair, I would say, his
hair was magnificent. He looked like perfect Bon Jovi.
His manicure hair was perfect.
Yeah,
everything.
Tight jeans, slender guy, very attractive. Looks like he'd be in a magazine like Abercrombie Finch model with.
Let's put it this way: if he had to make the switch from dude to chick, it wouldn't have been
anyway.
It wouldn't have been a long.
So I'm like, oh my god, Jim, there's like smoke coming out of those vents. And then I go, one time I was on this tour bus and the tour bus started on fire. Maybe you should say something. Jim's like, shut up! It's the air conditioner. I'm not saying anything. Well, this guy next to me is also freaking out because he doesn't like to fly. So he's going to Jim. Yes, you should say something.
No, he's going, fire. He's doing the jazz hands in front of his face like he's drying his fingernails. He's waving his hands. Yes, do something. I'm like, okay, sissy, she's with me. You're not with me. To giving me orders who I'm going to talk to. Just sit down and quit being flabby.
Yes, Roberta said you were the big strong man. You were supposed to take care of that.
I can tell you, if this guy walked up to you in a bar and said, "Hey, I'm gonna, dot your I's," you'd laugh in his face.
In this flight we took when this happened, did we get delayed? We might have. That's when Katrina was gonna hit in New Orleans, so they had to fly us way up the eastern seaboard, and we had a lot of turbulence.
Was that the one where the lady stamped our things, security, that I had to go to the strip church?
Oh, man, no, I think that was it. Because then you're like, I'm not flying to Florida anymore. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, I get there. I'm 50 minutes early for my flight. She goes, "Oh, you're not early enough." I go, "I'm here. Well, it's 50 minutes till before the thing leaves." I go, "I'm gonna make it." She goes, "You're not now." I'm like, "What?" She takes this red S and she stamps it on my card 3 times. I'm like, "What the hell does that mean?" So I go through the thing. Oh, okay.
She didn't stamp me security though.
Yeah, because you're with me, so you can't go either.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we wind up missing our flight. We got to sit on the floor of the airport terminal for what, 3 hours?
Yeah, we couldn't get on the next flight. It took us like 3 flights. So we flew out of Orlando like at 12:30 at night up to O'Hare.
Because she put me down as a security risk. I don't know if it's because I said, "Well, I think I'll make it."
Well, you did have samurai swords with you. You were kind of a security risk.
I checked his baggage, not carrying him on the
matter.
plane. Anyway.
When we came home with Sergey, we flew from Moscow to New York to JFK. We were supposed to have had about an hour layover, and then we were supposed to get on a plane to Cincinnati. And in Cincinnati, we were going to have about a 2-hour layover. And in that period, we were all going, because we had been on a flight for 15 hours. We were going to get all freshened up and get Sergey all dressed up in a cute little outfit and washed and everything. We played on the floor of the JFK airport for about 3.5 hours because there was thunderstorms were rolling down through Ohio into the Carolinas. So finally we got on the flight. We made it to Cincinnati. We're literally running through the airport trying to get to our connection flight, so we didn't miss it. So when we finally got to Charlotte Douglas, we all 3 looked like hell. I mean, because
I would have gotten thrown off that flight.
Good one, Tom.
it was
we did that. We had to wait like flight. They didn't let us on the next flight. It was like 3 flights down, but we were flying United, and I don't think they do this anymore. Do you remember when United had TED? And so when you're on the plane, it'd be like, Ted wants you to be safe. Ted wants you to buckle your seatbelt. Ted wants you not to spill your water. I mean, they did this 3rd-person thing where all this stuff that Ted wants you to do. It was a little tedious.
It was Orwellian.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever flown United.
No, so that's the last time I flew. Stupid, and I don't even think they do it anymore. But they had this thing. It was.
Yeah, and I got a Ford Festiva sitting in the parking garage, not in the garage, out in the outside lot in Chicago at O'Hare that I'm going to have to drive home in after we get this damn plane on the ground. We landed around 3:00 in the morning. I have not slept. I got to drive 4.5, 5 hours back home from in a Ford Festiva stick with seats that feel like you're riding on a long. I mean,
I slept because I didn't drive stick at that time.
It's so exhausting. Those little cars when you're driving long distances. I mean, you get tired. It's like driving a motorcycle. You will get tired. So I'm like, holy cripes. I'm like, I was so mad at that airline. I said, yeah, I'm done with airplanes. The TSA can keep them.
I've got a question. The Ford Festiva, was that a rental or was that your car?
No, Jim owned one.
It.
He bought it for $100.
You know what that trip from Chicago way up to the top of Wisconsin cost me in fuel? $17.50.
And 4 quarts of oil.
Paid for it. When I got home, it felt like somebody had actually folded me in half and tried to shove me in a suitcase.
Yeah, it was a 1991 Robin's Egg Blue Ford Festiva.
Did you hit the deer with it?
No.
Oh, that was before the deer hit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because after it hit a deer, then it really looked, I mean, it looked bad. Robin's Egg Blue, rust, Just an
It
old,
looked bad, brand new one.
yeah, it looked bad when it left the factory. But then Tar hit a deer with it, so now it's got this big dent in the hood. The one headlight's wired in. It was a real POS.
Leg, I don't have a Russian accent. I have a Charleston accent. If I was going to have an accent other than the one that I have, it would be A, no accent at all, or B, a Cockney accent, because I love
Oh my God, we wouldn't be able to understand you. I've tried to watch the British version of Shameless. I can't understand hardly a word they're saying.
But wouldn't he be adorable in a schoolboy uniform?
He would like the
And the
ACDC.
little cap.
Yeah,
he looked like the ACDC with the private school cap.
like the what is it? The one with Liza, Mr. Doolittle from
Dr. Doolittle, yeah.
No, not that one.
My Fair Lady?
Dolittle's
Fair Lady.
My Fair Lady. I love the way his accent, but he doesn't really have a strong one as much as she does. But if you're gonna have one that's interesting.
Okay.
I like when she's cheering for the Dover the horse. When she's saying, "Come on, Dover! Come on, Dover!"
Move your bloody ass, Dover.
That's my favorite part of the movie. And what interest is she going to have in this crusty old Rex Harrison? I never understand that matchup. She's like 20 years old and he's like 100. When I was a kid, I'm like, ew.
Tara, what interest did you have in that crusty old
Well, he
guy
didn't
that
look
you
as
met
crusty.
marching
when
in
I
I
the
was
wasn't
with
as
him.
crusty as old Rex Harrison.
was
in
all-
My Fair Lady. I can tell
At
you
the
that.
time, I'm like, ooh, yeah, he is kind of old. He's 38. I was 30, but 38 didn't seem that far apart,
Yeah.
I guess. Well, 38, but now I wish I was 38.
Yeah, now I have age spots. I have slabs of skin moving down the ground. It's like a mudslide. I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my God, I better get dressed.
When did
again.
my chest end up in my belly button?
Yeah. It's just this big. It's like, oh no.
Pretty soon it's gonna turn into a skirt.
It's working on it. Hey, don't get folks out there. Don't get old.
Morning, Harry. Sorry I missed your live chat. What was it, Saturday afternoon? I don't know what I was doing. Anyway.
So what else is new? What's going on? Give us a subject to talk about, Todd.
How many did you sell over the weekend, Tara Jim?
I don't even know. I didn't do. My weekend was not very
We might
good.
as well just take it off.
No. I didn't even look. I didn't do real great.
You know, it's like if when you have a brick and mortar store and you come in and you're like, I don't even know why I came in today. I had no sales and 3 returns.
No, it wasn't that bad.
Well, it wasn't that bad. But a lot of messages. Why is the shipping so high? Oh, I don't know. Because fuel is too high.
Anyway,
You know,
but we made it.
for a while, a lot of the businesses down here had surcharges on, like delivering to your house, like Staples and places like that.
Well, when you get diesels come down though. I think it's like $3.95
the
here.
shipping ain't gonna go.
Yeah, but the shipping won't go down. But yeah, like this summer when diesel prices are up getting close to like $5.50 a gallon. I mean, yeah, that's gonna hurt. They have to raise those costs.
You have two problems. One, the fuel is more expensive, so they have to charge more. And the other thing is the money they're charging you isn't worth as much as it used to be. So now they got to add on to that to keep it going. And because they're paying higher interest. So it's just a big toilet flush cycle.
Anyway, whatever.
So no, Todd, my weekend wasn't great.
It's because you're selling the wrong stuff.
Probably.
Yeah, mine wasn't great. I got 9 going out, and I usually get at least 12
Yeah.
over a 2-day regular weekend.
Ours actually, for numbers wise, I can't complain. I mean, it's just, but not as good as it has been in the past. But we sold a lot. Our numbers were good, except that everybody's buying this little,
Just pitsy
nickel
cheap
and
shit.
dime junk. I'm not popping off anything big. It's like, just commit to the big item. Don't think about the future. Just lay that money down. Call your credit card company. Get more.
Get more credit.
Get your limit up there and start buying.
Spend that tax refund. Buy our junk.
Yeah.
James W says people are broke now.
They are.
It wore them down. I mean, eventually, it was just a little bit. It's like, well, it's only a little bit higher. But eventually, that little bit, it starts to eat into your wealth.
Lag sold a server for $300. See, we gotta
Nice.
sell more
There
servers.
you go.
All right, well, let's dig out the server pile. We'll start listing them.
Hey, let's dox the person who bought it. Ooh, that person's got a lot of money.
Yeah, start hitting them up with messages.
I was going to park outside their house. We got to hit them up with messages.
Okay.
Mr. Sadie says, postpone that surgery.
Buy my
Buy my
machine.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
economy's tough.
I think people, like, when gas prices were high, I think they ended up putting a lot on credit cards this past summer, and I just think everybody starts feeling it then,
Yeah.
where that came from. I think
It's been like 2
it's starting to
years
catch up
since
with
those
people now.
Stimulus checks too.
Yeah.
a new tractor, you might as well go out and buy a Bentley.
Well, you can get those Rural King. There's actually some all right Rural King tractors, and they'll finance them.
Right.
Just depends how big you want to get, but I mean, you can get in there anywhere from, like, I think 20 to 40 grand on one of those.
My brother down on his farm, he's got a little is it Kubota?
Kubota.
One of those little
Yeah.
tractors.
Compact tractors. Yeah.
He's got a backhoe on it and a.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
it's-
never want. I don't want to have to track. I mean, they're cute. The only thing is sometimes the compact tractors are a little undersized. I got those Ford 8Ns. I got that thing. They got loaders on them, and then Jim bought this John Deere with the backhoe on it, which has a little bigger hoe on it. But they're all tractors I own outright, so I don't have to
Right.
make a monthly payment on them.
Well, they dig ditches and things like that with it, on their farm for drainage and whatnot.
Yeah.
Horses.
Burying horses. No, those Kubotas got that little wimpy
They could
backhoe.
dig a hole big enough to bury a horse. I bet you they dig 6 feet.
Probably that too.
Oh, not probably. If they got a backhoe, for sure.
Yeah, you definitely. If you got horses, it is handy to have the backhoe.
Yeah,
It's like the
Especially like down here, if the renderer takes like 4 days to come get it and it's warm out, yeah, that kind of sucks.
4 days if you're lucky. That
Yeah.
would be like overnight service for a renderer. Yeah, they're real slow. Have you ever dealt with these renderers? And I'm not making people collect garbage for a living. God love you, a very necessary thing. But sometimes you don't walk out to the garbage truck and think you're going to have a road scholar. These guys, the rendering guys, I mean, they'll spit on the ground right in front of you while you're talking about, hey, can I give you your check? And the guy looks at me, hawks up a loogie, and spits on the ground in front of me. I'm like, I realize your job's picking up dead animals, but you could at least act like a human being, not a gorilla. But anyway, yeah, it's so they take their sweet time coming to pick up your animal.
Oh god, those dead animal trucks are. We lived like 20 years right with cattle feedlots all around us,
Yeah.
and gosh, those cattle feedlots would have, maybe 1,000 cattle at each lot, and then, of course, they would have some die, and oh man, those gut trucks came and they just tied a winch onto the cow and
Yep.
cranked it right up in there, and it was.
Yeah, they got an electric winch on the front and they winch them away. I usually, and
It's got a metal roller on
most
the
of the
back.
times up north, I'd have them buried, but if it was like February and you have frost 6 foot in the ground, there's really not a lot you're going to do. So I've had to have them picked up. I usually don't stay outside when they're dragging them out.
The one that would pick up ours, it was a box truck, like my box truck, except it's got a winch up towards the cab, and they hook it to the winch, and then there's a metal roller on the back, kind of like that you roll lumber over when you're using a table saw. You got
Right.
this thing with a metal wheel, and that metal wheel is what allowed the thing to roll up over the back of the box truck, because they're lifting that thing, almost 4 feet off the ground when it's going up into the box truck, and there's no ramp, and it's a heavy animal. So go find yourself, if you have somebody picking up your animal, go find something else to do while they're doing it, because it's not something you want to stand there and watch. I'll tell you that.
When my brother was looking for his tractor, which he's got an old Ford, one of the blue Ford farm tractors.
Mm.
He's got that too, but when he was looking
Like
for
a
his back,
Power Master?
I don't have any.
Or a Work
I
Master?
have no idea.
Well, you should. You're a farmer.
I am not a farmer. That thing was. Let me tell you what. Those days of stringing barbed wire and baling hay and Sudax.
Yeah, but just think about, you're trying to get more fit right now after your heart surgery stuff.
Yeah,
you could,
squares.
yeah, doing fence and
workout.
stuff. You get some good exercise.
No.
I was just yesterday. I was hauling wood, cut logs down this mountain we got here with a wheelbarrow that had a steel wheel on it. That was a good workout.
I tried to get rid of it and you wouldn't let me.
Brandon's in the house. I'm like, if I die on this hill,
Well, you'd roll down to the bottom at least.
Yeah,
when he was looking for his backhoe tractor thingy, he went to
can't drive on it.
A couple of auctions, and he said people were paying, and my brother is pretty up on the cost of like equipment, stuff like that. He said they were paying damn near new prices for these new pieces of equipment, and he said some of them he was wondering whether they would even crank up to to put on a trailer to take home.
Well,
and,
before we bought that John Deere, there was a high bid auction right here very close to us of a county shop, and they had a Case Construction King, and we went over there and looked at it. Jim tested it, blah blah blah, and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get this thing. It's sitting at like, let's say $5,000. We're like, yeah, we're gonna get it. We'll get it.
I think we said we go up to 10 or
yeah.
Like that.
I think what did it sell for? Like almost 20, and it needed new rubber. I mean, the rubber was slicks.
They were balls as a peach.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bad tires. But your rule of thumb on new equipment is usually around. It's a little now. It's probably a little more. It used to be a few years back. It was $1,000 a horsepower. Yeah. So if it's 100 horsepower engine in it, you're probably looking at $100,000.
Yeah.
And just keep on going up from there. But they do have AC now.
I will say a really good equipment auction to go to if you're in the upper Midwest is they have it 2 times a year. It's in Lamira, Wisconsin. And actually I saw some pretty good deals there. We bought that grain truck out of there and we bought a trailer out of there. But actually like some of their tractor stuff and that they had some pretty good deals on.
Todd's sleeping, he took his headset off.
Oh boy.
But you go buy that stuff though, you gotta know how to fix it. If you're taking it into a dealership to get it fixed, you might as well just go buy a new one.
Well, his Ford tractor is a diesel, and they have rebuilt that thing, and it was actually my uncle's tractor, and when he passed away, Dad bought it because their farm was right beside Dad's farm, and now Cherry has it. I've been looking at electric lawnmowers. The ones that like the vacuums. You just program them; they run around the yard.
Oh yeah, like that. Yeah,
I got one of those. I was gonna resell it, but I had so much luck with one of those Walmart electric chainsaws. I had good luck with that.
That Hart brand.
So we picked up this electric lawnmower cheap at Walmart on clearance. I'm like, you know what? Hell with it. I'm gonna unbox it. I'm gonna try it on the grass. Yeah, I think you're better cutting your grass with a weed whacker. I mean, it's not very. I'm not impressed with the electric lawnmower.
We should have just put it up for sale.
Yeah, the chainsaws work great. The electric lawnmower, not so. I would test one before you bought one. Like if it's a thick piece of grass, it just won't cut it. It doesn't have like the RPM of a gas one.
Mr. Sadie, my brother Terry, he's the fisherman. He said when his buddies just bought a new Ranger bass boat, the dealership said they were basically giving him the boat because he bought the boat motor and the trailer. And that whole rig was like $45,000.
I knew somebody where up north where we used to live, Rick, he bought that pontoon boat. And how big is that outboard on that thing? It's got to be 100 horse.
Big. I think it's 150.
Yeah. I mean, I think he paid 90 grand for it. It's
got 3 cans.
It's got 3 cans on it, and it's a nice pontoon boat. But yeah, it was like close to $100,000.
Oh yeah, there's some down here on this lake that runs like that all the time. I never could figure out why you have these 200 plus horsepower Mercuries or boat motors on the back of these bass boats. Are they scared the lake's going to dry up before they can get to their spot?
I got to beat the other guy across the lake to that. When they do like those bass, those fishing tournaments, they got to get there before the other guy.
No, racing for the honey hole.
Yeah, but most of them don't know where the honey hole's at. They've looked at maps and they hope they get to the right place. My brother fished in a tournament down years ago down here on Lake Wylie, and the winner of it was like a 16 and 17-year-old boy in a aluminum V-hull boat with a 20-horse old Mercury motor on the back of it. Their live well was a big cooler that they mounted a live well pump onto, and that was their rig. And they outfished these people with these $50,000 boats.
Huh.
So anyway, I saw Todd's headset disappear, so he's back. Oh, I see the hand.
Yep. I'm alive.
He's still with us.
So what do you got on your agenda today, Todd?
We're going to load up after a while and go meet some friends we met in Italy. They're coming through.
That's right. You said that.
Town. We're all going to lunch, and then
you going to the
that,
Cracker
I guess
Barrel?
Let's just do some listing. Come home.
Well, show them a good time. Don't take them to damn Waffle House.
We're going to Ninfa's Mexican food. It's pretty good stuff.
And
Are they from Texas too, or no?
No, they live in Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to start talking like a Minnesotan so you make them feel welcome.
Yeah, they're a pretty interesting couple. He's 73 and still works full time, and he's like boss of a company or something.
Hmm.
But,
is it the My Pillow guy?
My Pillow guy? What does that mean?
Well, he's from Minnesota and he's a boss at a company.
Oh man, I had a roommate from Minnesota in college one year. Anyway, his family was from Edina, and I mean they were loaded. Okay, but the thing about this guy was we got along okay. But anyway, we had an IBM computer in our dorm room. This is back. I think one other person had an Apple in one of the lower levels of the dorm, but on our floor, we had the only computer. It was one of those IBMs that you have to use floppies to boot, and then take out the boot disk, and then put in your 5.5-inch floppy to run the program. We're like using like WordStar to type term papers and stuff. Or we'd have people when like papers were due, we'd have guys lined up out the door with their floppies. Can we please use your printer? Because we had a dot matrix printer too. But back then, I mean, they weren't even really called personal computers yet. They were like a computer, like you have them in an office. Nobody had computers in their house yet. So that was pretty cool. Those Minnesotans, they got money, especially ones around Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Isn't that where Rose Nyland's from? Minnesota?
Rose Island?
Nyland. From Golden Girls.
Oh yeah. I think she's supposed to be from. It's like St. Olaf or.
Yeah, that's it.
I've heard of St. Olaf.
Yeah, the Golden Girls, Betty White's character, she's
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to be from Minnesota.
She's always talking about the Oompa Loompas or what, you know. She just got all these wild names for people from her past up there.
I used to fish up around Bemidji.
Yeah, we do have accents down here, and that's the reason everybody's moving down here, just so they can acquire one too. Look at the Carries from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Hey, I got a tick bite yesterday up getting that firewood. I had a tick on me. I can tell you in Wisconsin, you don't get ticks in February. That was pretty awesome.
Well, I'll tell you what. The trees are putting out down here. You know, they're blooming and the plants are coming up. If we get a bad March, which they say we're going to have a bad
24K.
March, it's really going to mess up.
What's that lake you used to fish in?
Winnebagosh.
Yeah, my husband used to go fish on Winnebagosh
That's
for
by
a perch.
It's a little town called Bina, yeah. Was it Devil's Lake? Is that by next to it?
No, Norbert went out there, but I never did go.
And Winnebagosh is the one we made.
He didn't let me come. It was man's weekend. Anyway,
How do you
they used to have perch on there. I mean, they were like the size of medium-sized walleyes. But it got fished out pretty bad.
Jim, how do you say Chicken Toad said Bemidji?
Bemidji.
Say that again.
Bemidji.
Okay. It's just got too many words.
Look at a map of the north half of Minnesota. It's like one of the few big towns up there. That's why I said I fished around Bemidji, because actually when you say I fished up in Bina, nobody knows where the hell Bina is. It's on a reservation. Nobody's really heard of it. I mean, except for the people who live around it.
Felix, we haven't had a queen in about 250 years.
No,
I'm married to my queen.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that again.
You keep saying that, and she'll let you. That's the reason she lets you live there. Either that, or it's off to the tower.
Yeah, I'm married to my old queen too.
Queen.
What?
Lord have mercy. You people are just not right. You're online early this morning.
Yeah, I got home. Well, but it depends if we do some stuff around town. Sometimes I don't get back till way at the end of your show, but since I was here, I thought, well, I'll pop in.
Well, you start talking about Cracker Barrel and you couldn't resist.
Yeah, I couldn't. Once you start talking about that apple butter, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go.
It don't take a lot to. I'm old now, so it don't take a lot to make me irritable.
I know. Yeah, because I think you got to be 60 to start eating apple butter.
Oh, apple butter's good, especially if you get it from the Moose Cafe at Asheville, North Carolina. If you
We're talking about going to a horse show at Asheville, and I'm gonna see if I can go with them if they go.
Well, let me know, or let us know.
I don't know if they'll do it or not. They're kind of kicking it around though. Jim is not under 30.
Oh man, I got kids over 30.
Yeah, his oldest kids are older than 30.
I'm gonna say, is Megan 30 by now? She's 90. Yeah, she's over 30.
Well, the boy's 89, so is he 33 or 32?
Yeah, she was born in 91, so
she's like 31.
Yeah,
right.
And Brandon's 14, isn't he?
Yeah, Brandon's 15.
15. Oh, he's gonna be getting his license soon.
I got 2 30-somethings and a teenager, so if I was under 30, you'd be pushing it.
Yeah.
I'd be a big boy.
Well, who's the other one? Tara keeps talking about those 2 kids that live with her. Is she talking about you? Mm-hmm. You and Brandon?
I guess, yeah.
I guess.
But the Moose Cafe, they source most of their stuff from it's right beside the farmer's market. So they source most of their stuff from it. But they have really good food and really good sized portions. So, but let us know if you go to the horse show. in Asheville.
I don't know if I am for sure. I don't know if they're gonna go for sure, but they have been kicking it around. I don't even know when that is. It's got to be June or July.
She's just threatening you, Tom.
She's
Just
what?
an empty threat.
It's an empty threat. It's an idle threat.
Okay. That's not a threat. I'd love to see you guys. I talk to you so much. I know more about you, what's going on with your life, than I do my own brother's. And
There you
that's
go.
what's sad about these shows, is that Todd's in Texas, and I know more about what's going on with him than my brother that lives 45 minutes away from me.
Well, get your brother on here in the mornings. He can help you.
Yeah, put him on the morning show with you.
He is he's
like the Smothers Brothers.
By the time this show comes on, he's dealing with about 6-7 survey crews.
Oh, because he's doing your dad's survey company.
Yeah, he got that.
No, that's the trouble with the job. Takes away all your personal freedom.
Yeah.
Omega, that's the watch. Felix.
Oh, that's a good watch.
Guess what? My $9.99 from Walmart tells time just as damn good.
You pick up like one of those, especially like a World War II era Omega, they do very well.
How much is gold now, Todd?
Let's see. 1815. Yeah, it's been down a couple of weeks.
No. Because this summer, was it up around just over?
Yeah, it went up to what, 19 something, 1930 or something like that. So yeah, stock market's having a little rebound from last week. Stocks took a big hit last week.
Did they?
Yeah, not huge, but just kind of big.
I don't pay that close of attention to it. But didn't they announce that they were gonna did they raise the interest rates again or not yet?
Not yet.
I think they want to get it around 9 or 10. I think that's what's going to satisfy the credit card companies.
I don't think they're going to stop though, because we still got inflation going on. You know, it went up, what, 8.5% last year, and this year it's on pace for like 6.5%.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, eventually though they do quit. I mean, the inflation's a good excuse for raising it, but eventually they run out. I mean, remember in the 70s, inflation was still going up, and then eventually they just gave up. They just quit raising it. Like house rates got around like 17-18% on house interest, and they just quit because people just weren't borrowing money anymore. They're still spending because they still have to spend and now the money's worth less, so they got to spend more. So they say, okay, it's inflation. Interest rates, you raise the cost of money for companies that make stuff, so they got to in turn raise their prices, which it's just a circle. Eventually, it runs out of gas. That whole thing with they're trying to curb that the interest rates are going up to curb inflation, just not true. I mean, it didn't work the last time they did it, and it ain't gonna work. It ain't working right now.
Mortgage rates are like 4.8 right now for fixed.
Are they?
How do you stop people from buying food?
Okay.
The prices go up on the food.
I'll be right back.
People are still gonna buy it because it's hard to train yourself not to eat.
The only time raising interest rates worked was in the early 80s, and they just allowed big companies to just crash and burn. There weren't any bailouts, but they didn't let that happen in 2008. Everything started crashing, and
Well,
we're going to bail them out. They're too big to fail. I'm like,
I think they should have let them. It's the market.
You never interfere with the free market and have a good result. It never happens. But the problem is the companies that are going under, a lot of them, there's political debts owed. There's been a lot of favors and money going back and forth. And it's like part of that is why those companies get bailed out. I mean, it's a big reason why they always take care of Wall Street. What's where the money's at. And politicians need money.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mr. Sadie. I thought the mortgage rate was closer to 6%.
I don't think they're going to let it go all the way up around. I don't think they're going to let it get up into the high teens this time, though. I think they're going to quit around 9 or 10. I'm hoping.
yeah, there would either have to be some major bailouts again, or just have massive companies crashing if they did it that way again.
Yeah, did I hear that the Ford company put their EV line like on hold for
They quit making
production?
them. They're done.
Yeah.
The trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the F-150, they suspended manufacturing and said they're going to start making them again.
Oh, really?
They might. They're not saying they won't, but they.
EV vehicle either.
You got these little kids digging out lithium to make batteries for these big stupid trucks. I don't understand why they don't make small. Put the battery make the battery operated cars small. I mean, why do you need battery operated pickup trucks? It doesn't even make any sense. There's only so much lithium. There's only so many people to mine it, and the people are getting sick. I mean, that's not sustainable.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
buying
30% is a lot to put down on a $200,000 house. That's 60 grand. But I suppose if you had another piece of property you cashed out of that you had enough equity in it.
Well, that's what really, I think when they got up in the high teens last time, that's when the housing market just quit. It was done. Unless you could sell owner financing, no one was buying real estate. And that's when finally the government's like, oh, okay, maybe we better start rolling this back.
Well, there's that person I know that's a real estate agent in Nashville, and it's slow there. Now that's a big market.
Yeah,
Granted, you have a lot of competition in it, but I know she's complaining.
And lucky you is JQ Public. Your biggest asset is your real.
Yeah.
They're killing your biggest asset.
Well, in the early 80s, who was it? Bernanke? Ben Bernanke. He was able to raise interest rates to 15% because real estate values were going up during the same time period. Now, real estate prices are going down because the interest rates are going up. So
yeah, the real estate prices never really. The problem is because people owe money on the place, they can't sell it for less. That's why real estate prices rarely go down because they're stuck with it. They won't be able to sell it, and its valuation goes up, but they're buying it. The value isn't driven by demand. The value is driven by basically what they owe on it. So it's not a true supply side model. But anyway, yeah, eventually everything just stops.
Tom's playing with his plushie.
His cat? I got it on the YouTube, so that's not even on the live.
He just showed a My Little Pony or something.
Oh.
Sorry. Had a crisis.
Uh-oh, cat crises?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
The cat was playing with its little pony.
Yeah. There's my horse.
There you go. Well, he's cheap to feed.
Yeah, they are. My mother just called, and my sister-in-law was in the hospital. She had a gallbladder removed years ago, like 95, and they use staples, and one of the
Oh.
staples has apparently worked its way loose and migrated, and it's causing her all problems. So they get ready to do surgery, and all the hospitals in Charlotte are filled up. So, sorry, that was a crisis. One thing or another.
I guess. Yeah, that's pretty good interest rate, Mr. Sadie. I wouldn't move either.
Yeah, because if you sell, then you got to take out a loan at the higher interest rate.
Yeah, Mr. Sadie's at 2.2 right now.
It takes the real estate market, it just turns it off. It just slows down to nothing.
But Jim might remember, but his daddy definitely would if he was still around. When houses people were carrying 13 and 14% mortgage rates on their house.
I remember 16, 17, 18%.
I mean, and people are freaking out because it goes up 0.5% now. Based on that, if it keeps moving up, the money's going to be, if you got the cash on hand, is invest in rental properties, because nobody's going to be buying a daggum house.
When I started real estate, the interest rates are dropping. They were on the downward thing. You went and got yourself one of these rate books, so you could calculate loans before, or you bought the calculator. I didn't have the calculator yet, so I was still using the book. But that book only went down to 9%. Because when they're printing the books, they never thought, nobody ever thought interest rates would get below 9%.
I took out that mortgage.
That was in 89 or 90.
I took out that mortgage in 2003, I think. And
Yeah, by then they'd fallen quite a bit.
yeah, they said it was 5.8, and they guaranteed it was a 30-year mortgage that for the first 10 years of it would not go above 6%. And I'm like, wow, we should do this. You'll never see interest rates this low again. But because that got adjusted with the Fed when interest rates were falling, it went all the way down to like 1.8% on my mortgage. I couldn't believe it. I don't have a mortgage now, but
Yeah, I sold real estate for 20 years, and my old man was in it for 20 years before that. So yeah, I grew up around interest rates.
I was a teenager when all this was going on. And my dad was the chairman of the building committee for the church that we went to, and we were building a new educational complex. And the mortgage companies were vying for the church loan. It started out at 10%, and they ended up getting it at 9.25 because one loan company, it was Home Federal Savings and Loan. They were at 9.5 or 10%, and then another one, First Federal, came along with 9.75. And me being the son of the building committee chairman and having a driver's license, I was running back and forth between these damn mortgage companies, picking up paperwork, where they were doing official offers and stuff like this. And it got to the point that the building committee was at my dad's house, and they were, making decisions on the fly right there. And that's how bad they wanted that church money. But battling over 9.75, trying to get it locked in.
yeah.
I mean, now people would not even listen to them. I have a feeling, though, if you're looking for a house and you got some money saved up and you can get some more money, some more cash on hand, people will be able to get a good deal on a house, even at a high interest rate, because they're starting to slow down on building new construction around here. And I was watching a YouTube video, because YouTube videos are all true, and they're talking about, like, there's spots in the U.S. where housing sales have just stopped.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would say it has to slow
It's
down.
the price of a house doesn't matter if you built it out of silver and gold or whatever. The value or where it's located. The value of the house is only what people can get for it. So if you don't have jobs in that area, the people don't have income, they can't pay as much, or well, it's not. They don't buy the house with their money; they buy it with the bank's money. So when they go to, it depends on what the bank will give them, and you need good jobs for banks to approve loans. If you have an area where there's no good jobs, yeah, the real estate is going to fall right through the toilet. Because that's what, as soon as interest rates go up, you're driving a bunch of people out of the home buying market unless their wages have also gone up to match it, and they have not.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it's tough. I mean, if you're selling real estate right now, I feel for you.
One of the good things that's going on right now, though, the price of lumber has come down so much, because I think
The price of lumber has come down quite a bit.
But what's the price of lumber driven by? The demand for new housing, new housing starts. New housing starts ain't there. Lumber's gonna, again, that market's gonna fall too. If you're running a tree processor, it's gonna affect you.
My niece and nephew that are building a house, their builder, I think I mentioned it before, their builder just recalculated the end cost on it, and it's like $35,000 cheaper just because of the price in lumber. And
well, what was it? A year ago, I bought some 4x4s. I bought 3 4x4s, and that was like $100. And I think now the price has gone in half here.
I got a little boat trailer behind the car, and I'm looking at these 3 boards we got strapped to the thing. I'm like thinking to myself, how in the hell can that be $100 worth of lumber?
It's going to be, because there's people here in Charlotte that bought houses like in Piper Glen and Ballantyne, which are like real uppity areas. They were buying $1 million homes for like $400,000 back during the crash, and it took forever for all of them to go off the market because they weren't building any houses around here, and throw some water on Tara, Jim, because I said $1 million house and it's on a 1/4 acre lot.
Yeah.
Tara's like $1 million. If I had $1 million to spend a house,
we see stuff like that up in Eagle River on the chain.
You see it right now.
Yeah.
In farms, go try to buy a farm around here right now. A farmer any size, yeah, they're starting at $750,000 to $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bill Gates.
We used to, honestly, when I lived in Wisconsin, my uncle and his friend had a sawmill set up on the back of my property, which was awesome because I would get all my lumber there, and I would get, because the byproduct was I got all the shavings and stuff for bedding my stalls.
But in Europe, people live in apartments their whole life, so they don't even own their own home. And sometimes I feel like that's what it's heading here.
Yeah, you're on nothing like it.
Yeah, that's what I want to become, is just like Europe. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, why did we kill all those people during the Revolutionary War? Oh, yeah, that's right. So we didn't have to live like that.
But it's, that's just the way they did things over there, and we're over here, it's all spread out.
Well, the plan is for because what happens is you get too many people. So what you do is you drive them to like the center of you got a big area. You drive them to the center in this like apartment building complex, and then around that you have like grassy park area, and then beyond that you have some forest. But it's the same amount of land that would have been taken over in sprawl if each one of these people had their own little yard and their own little 3-bedroom ranch or whatever.
Right.
And that's what they try to do. But I mean, and I guess, I mean, there's some value to that. People are like, well, we got to protect green space and stuff like that. But I'm like, screw that. I'd rather live on 20 acres in the country.
I'll own green space.
Yeah.
You're paying $12 for a used pallet. They're giving them away around here, Mr. Sadie.
They're hard to find for free around here.
I knew people were heating their houses with them. I mean, it's a lot of fussing, with nails and stuff. But I heard people were using those crazy netters were burning them.
Really?
Yeah, they were using them for fuel. Oh, I shouldn't say that. They might be watching.
Okay.
I don't mean you're crazy. I meant you're eccentric.
But, I was reading an article, and it was talking about overall the population of the United States is going down because people are not having kids like they did.
Really?
Yeah. And Japan and South Korea is in a population deficit because those people are more interested in having a good time and having the branded clothes, and they're not having kids. And as their baby boomers are dying off, it's just throwing it more and more.
Yeah, but how many kids do you want living in the basement of your house? I mean, if the kids would move out and get their own houses, sure, yeah, go ahead, have some kids.
Yeah. Lag's mom can't kick him out.
Yeah.
Failure.
First, you got a computer downstairs. Then you got the stereo playing loud. Then you brought in a girl, and now you're making more of them. Call the exterminator.
But yeah, James, the population isn't growing; it's shrinking, and they're what the article I was reading was talking about with our baby boomers, which I'm one, and Todd's one, and Mr. Sadie's one, and I really believe that Lag is one too.
I think I'm a year after it. I think what?
Yeah. Are we Generation Z? No.
I'm 1 year after the baby boomers. I'm 65.
What generation is after the baby boomers? Is that ain't Gen Z? No.
Yeah, I was born in
What the hell do
65,
they
so I
call
missed the
us?
cutoff by like a year.
I forgot.
Almost old. I don't know.
No, they got a.
Slackers.
The silent generation is 1925 to 1945. Baby boomers are 1946 to 1964. Generation X is 1965 to 1980, and the millennial generation is 1981 to 96.
I'm the first of the X models. First year of the X's. I missed hepatitis what?
C.
Hepatitis C or whatever. I'm after the vaccine or whatever, so I don't have to worry about that.
And then there's the Generation Z that's 95 to 12. And then Generation Alpha is from 2013 to 2025. So there you go.
Oh, so Brand's already one generation back. They've already switched out generation. Because he's in 07.
Well, we had such big families back in the day, at least in the South, because that was farm labor.
You got run over by a tractor by the time you were 8. A lot of kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you had farm accidents. You had diseases they couldn't fix.
Yeah.
They didn't have penicillin. I mean, they had penicillin by the time you were a kid. But I mean, you know what I mean? Early in the 20th century, there was a lot of things people died of that they don't die of today.
So we, even though people are living a lot longer, they say that when there'll be a big U.S. deficit when by the time the baby boomers die out.
Yeah.
Which is going to
getting rid of smoking. That definitely messed up the population.
Yeah. Well, when you look at movies like
way too long.
When you look at some of the science fiction movies, like in the future, where the whole world is covered with high-rise buildings because of population, I believe they're at the rate it's going, that's kind of not going to happen.
No, I think you're going to hit a ceiling for food.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much they can do with chemicals, and Monsanto can only do so much.
Soil it green?
Soil it green. It's people. Soil it green.
The best part about that movie, though, is when he's yelling "Soil and green." My favorite part of that is the looks on the people's faces, Because they look at him like, yeah, dummy, we all knew it. We just don't talk about it. He thinks he's uncovered this big secret. Everybody knew. It's like, what else are we going to eat?
Anytime Picker says after Generation Beta, there will be Generation Aliens.
Wow.
Yeah, I think people really have a kind of a concern about food because there's a lot of people that's doing, especially in Charlotte, there's always articles in the newspaper about people raising a garden on their balcony of their apartment, in buckets. And people growing stuff during the winter because they'll leave the blinds open on their sliding glass doors that goes in their out onto their little balcony in their apartment, and they can still grow stuff because the sunshine and the heat from the glass.
Well, I don't do it, but I can tell you when I was a kid, my family, like my grandma, we never bought canned like vegetables and stuff because she had a 5-acre garden. I mean, she canned everything. And we never bought chicken because they raised chickens and we raised beef. I mean, weren't raising pigs when I was a kid, so I guess that would be the only thing that they would go out and buy. But yeah, I mean, they probably raised at least 75% of their food and put it up.
Yeah, I'm not raising pigs. I'm not raising chickens. I ain't raising cows.
Until my dad got sick, he always had a garden.
Yeah.
And my mom bitched about that garden all the time because he would plant enough like he was feeding a family of 12, and it was just the two of them.
Well, they would do that, but then they can. I mean, they put up a lot of, they would can a lot of vegetables. Well, everybody had to help. Like you'd be like, okay, we're canning tomatoes today. I mean, and they would put up a lot, and everybody helped, clean them and prep it. And do it.
My mother bought. I mean, she would make jelly. I mean, she canned all that stuff. Now she says it costs more. It costs more to try to can a bunch of stuff than it does for a single person to go out and buy a little small can, little
That's
Debbie's,
true.
Libby's green beans.
Yeah. Well, I guess once you have the investment in the jars, I mean, you have the jars, you can reuse them. I mean, you have the rings, you can reuse them. You got to buy new lids, but
right.
The problem is back in the day, everybody was doing it, so they're making tons and tons and tons of this canning stuff.
Well, now with people vacuum sealing their jars, like you can reuse the lids. Not the rings, but the lids. You can reuse them because you're not exposing them to the
really
high temperatures like you were when you're cooking. But jars were last summer. Jars were expensive.
Were they?
Yeah, they were real expensive.
I will say I'll see them at auctions here, like used jars, and they go high at auction for the used jars.
That's because people are either buying 50-pound bags of rice, 50-pound bags of rice.
I thought you were going to say rats. I'm like, oh man, those tough times when you start eating rats.
Of rice, and they're breaking it up into quart-sized jars and vacuum sealing them. So there was a real run on. A lot of the YouTubers we watch about stuff like that. They were talking about people were asking for a premium on.
Do you ever watch Stacy and oh God, I forgot his name. They have a real big homesteading channel. Stacy and I forgot the guy's name.
Homesteading guy?
Yeah, he's a homesteading guy. He looks like an Amish guy, but he's not Amish.
I haven't. I don't.
You'd probably like him. He does a live show like once a week.
But
it isn't Stacy and Greg. God dang it.
I never watched it. I always put my headphones when you turn on.
It's that stuff was rings. Excuse me, rings.
Yeah, he gave away a pickup truck or something.
Yeah, he gave away a pickup truck. He just gave away $5,000. Every month they're gonna give away like $5,000. You go on their website and you enter their giveaway thing or whatever.
Yeah, he gave away 10 mason jars of vacuum rice.
He drives it to your house.
Hey, let me tell you what. You couldn't get rice for a while.
Yeah.
You know,
I
you
mean,
go
I
to
could take her
your
to leave.
supermarket and look for
Rice?
rice.
Yeah.
They did not have it.
Hey, I
And
want to tell
people-
you something though. I was pretty proud of myself, and I don't like to brag, but I will right now. I went into Walmart when we were having the big pasta run, when there was like
Right.
no pasta. I needed to get spaghetti noodles. There was 4 boxes of spaghetti noodles left in the entire Walmart. I grabbed the 2. I grabbed all 4, and I looked at them. I said, I only need 2. So I took the other 2 and I put them back on the shelf because I said I'm not going to be the guy who takes last noodles I don't even need hoarding them.
Oh boy.
Well, you
And-
didn't need them now, but you might need them next week.
Yeah, but if everybody thinks that way, then the shelves are all empty. Next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you couldn't throw a rock and not hit noodles.
I don't care what Tara says about your gym. You're just a good old asshole. That's all there is to it.
Well, sometimes you gotta. I thought I don't really need this, and if I leave it here, somebody else may really need these noodles.
Yeah, it might be like I need to eat tonight and I need spaghetti noodles. And they're gonna get the last
They're
2
gonna get
unless
those-
somebody else beats them to
Well,
those 2
somebody's gonna get them.
boxes.
Somebody's gonna get them, but that's okay. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be me. I'm not the one making kids go without noodles. Damn it!
A
you're
noodle in
right.
every pot.
You're right. You got to be that way. I don't know whether y'all ever watched any of the couponing, extreme couponings they used to have. And these
Yeah.
people would just wipe a shelf out.
Yeah.
And one lady, her husband's like, why are we getting all this stuff? But they would just take everything on the shelf because they had coupons. And for those that are couponers, that show is the reason that there were so many rules about coupons put in
Oh
place.
God. Well, I never really did the big couponing thing, but this was when I was living in Wisconsin. You get stuck behind one of these extreme couponers
my
with
God,
their
with their little
binder
book.
full of
Yeah.
coupons and a double coupon day and that, and be like, oh, good grief. And you always have this cashier who is like, looks as confused as a baby raccoon or fighting them, either or, but it takes forever. Anyway.
Well, they got rid around here. They don't have double coupon days anymore.
No, I guess I haven't seen that in a long time.
It just got.
This is the first I've heard of it, and I'm 57 years old.
Double
Well,
coupon day?
everything's a
Oh my God. Kid, there's double
self-checkout now.
coupons.
How do you even use coupons?
Well, I know you can use them at Walmart because I'll use self checkout. You just scan the coupon and it tells you to stick it in a hole.
You stick it in the coupon hole.
Oh, stick it in your coupon hole, huh?
Yeah. Go to self checkout, scan it, and then it'll say, remember to stick it in the hole, and you stick it in the coupon hole.
There's also a button on most of them. There's a button that says, "Do you have coupons?" or "I have coupons," and so you can click.
Yeah, you got punch the button. Yeah, you tell it that you got coupons.
Why wouldn't you just keep the coupon? Have they got coupon police standing at the
Yeah,
thing?
no, it has to run through. They won't give you the discount.
Yeah.
If you don't,
I think there's a sensor on the coupon hole that
it's got a
says it goes-
barcode on it. When it goes in the coupon hole, it's
No, you scan the barcode onto like you would a regular product you're buying.
Oh,
just
that's
over the
just.
thing.
Oh, maybe it's the honor system. I don't know.
Maybe it is.
Honestly, though, are the coupons worth that much?
We when we had a buy low
I wouldn't
here,
think so.
I knew the assistant manager really well, and he had. I was right when that thing came out, I said, "Do you have many of these power couponers come in here?" He says, "Oh yeah, we do." He says, "But we have put limits on how many coupons you can use at a time," and he said that so that's kind of slowed them down about it some. He said, not that I don't. He said, not that we're not wanting the business, but it's just so time consuming for a cashier to scan 1,000 items,
Yeah.
and our systems are not held up or not rigged for it. And so he said he had to stop that, or they had to start putting some limits on it to slow it down. And people were coming in there and clearing out, all of the mustard and the hot sauce and stuff like that because they had
like the laundry
100
detergent.
coupons.
Yeah. No, Tom, you're talking about this now. You're putting me in a mood to do some couponing.
Yeah, I got another trick though for that self checkout at Walmart,
Right.
where you drop your coins in. If you're paying something and you're using change, if you got a bunch of change in your pocket, you can flip that one-off coin that slot where you drop the coins in. If you flip up that little lid, you can actually drop multiple coins in at a time.
Oh, you don't have to pay the 10%.
Yeah, and then you don't have to pay the 10% at your bank if they charge you to turn in your coins. Just use them, buy stuff at Walmart.
I went into a Circle K, a convenience store for those that don't have them. Anyways, they've got self-checkout, and the one I went into had 2 self-checkout. You set your items in this up on this little table or this pad, and there's scanners, and it scans your item, tells you how much it is, and then if you want to pay in coins, have you seen like the coin exchangers at supermarkets? Yeah. Well, there's a slot for cash. Of course, there's the regular debit card thing. There's a slot for cash, and then there's one of these big bins that you dump, your jar full of coins in.
Huh.
And I said, how is this working out? And the guy that was the manager behind the counter says, surprisingly enough, it's working out really well. Unfortunately, I'm losing 6 employees.
Yeah.
But he said, I also didn't have those six employees because nobody wants to work. But we're losing 6 employees for the shifts that take the store.
My local Walmart, I think they only have maybe 2 lanes that are actual like cashiers checkout. Everything is like self checkout now. But you'll have one person that can monitor, like, sometimes I think some of those girls monitor 2 lanes. So that would be like 12 registers or 8.
Well, we have at our Walmart here, they have like corrals. I'm gonna call them that. They've got self checkout machines here and some here, and what you have to come through this way, do your self checkout, and then go out the other end. And there'll be one girl watching.
Yeah,
ours used to be corrals, but now they're straight liners.
Yeah, they're just straight lines. You walk in and out.
Yeah, there'll be like 3 on one side and 3 on the other. You'll have like 6 to a lane, and they just line you up and you check yourself up. But I think it's for theft is why they put you in the corral. But they must have figured what they're losing in theft wasn't worth the extra hassle or whatever.
They got those girls now where they're watching them better.
Well, yeah, they got the smartphone. They can see what you're checking out.
It's I think the corrals are to slow down theft, which Walmart has more theft than anybody else in the world.
If I was going to go to jail for, risk going to jail for stealing stuff, not that I don't steal, but if I did, I wouldn't steal stuff from crappy Walmart. I'd go to a nice place.
Like, I got this pound of butter for free.
Yeah, I'd go to some classy joint that's got nicer stuff than Walmart.
But we have public shopping center supermarkets here now, and I asked, we were checking out, and I said, when are y'all going to get self checkout? And I found out later it was the assistant manager who was bagging my groceries said, never. That's not the public's way.
We have a little tiny IGA store here that I'll go into, and it's like going back in time, like to 1979. Every checkout, they got the old belt conveyors, and everyone is a girl standing there checking you out. The only thing I guess would be modern is they have credit card readers.
And they don't have a bag boy. It rotates. Yeah. They got those rotating grocery bags.
Yeah, that's true. There's no bagger. But it is like going back in time.
Damn, Tara. Way back in time, 1979.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. There's kids born in 1979 that are grown-ups and have kids.
Yeah, but you made it sound like it was going to be like 1935 before they invented the
come on, Tom. They didn't have motorized conveyors in 1939.
I mean, we drove around in 1939 cars, but they were older cars.
My mom, I did not know that my mom worked at it was the predecessor to Winn-Dixie. She was a cashier when she was young. Didn't never know it. we were talking one day, and she said, that was back in the day. She was real young. That was in the days where you $4. Everything had a price on it because it'd be like $4.39, and you had to
Yeah.
punch it in. She said these people nowadays would be in a hell of a shape if they had to do that,
Yeah.
because most of them could hardly make change. It is 4:25. I mean 10:25. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
probably
hear your
time
phone ring.
for Todd to wrap it up.
Yep. We'll be on Tom's channel tomorrow, the Queen City Pickass. So.
Yep. Paper tape is easier. Yeah, Todd's shipping everything in that gum flat rate cardboard envelopes now. So
That's right. They're free.
Oh, you know what works good for shipping? Use those empty 12-pack boxes.
Michelob Ultra box.
Michelob Ultra boxes. Yeah, those work great.
throw everything into a cereal box.
Well,
just
make sure you pad it with a lot of Walmart bags.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got an order going out today. Let's see, what box did I use? Oh yeah, it's a garbage disposal box.
There we go.
Do you need to take that label off, or is that your shipping label?
Yeah, that's the Home Depot sticker.
There you go.
They don't need to think that their laminator came from Home Depot.
What is that? What are you shipping up?
It's a laminator.
A laminator.
Yeah, you put like documents between pieces of plastic, and
Right.
like they're probably making fake IDs or something.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for coming in and listening to our nonsense this morning.
See y'all tomorrow morning.
All right. Have a good day.
End broadcast. Bye.